Good evening. This is Talking Sports with Evan. I'm Evan Wotallison, and not really sure how I want to start tonight. I was planning on doing a show most of today, get to talk about the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs win over the 49ers. The Chiefs are a dynasty. How close are the Packers to being a Super Bowl contending team? What are the expectations next year? All the things I wanted to discuss about the game from Sunday, and things that I've been thinking about in my head and figuring it out and whatnot since the game ended on Sunday. That's that's kind of what I've been trying to contemplate for the past few days. Unfortunately, at an event that's supposed to be fun and exciting and supposed to bring fans together in Kansas City, celebrating the Chiefs Super Bowl win. Again, supposed to be an exciting event. We have another shooting. We have another shooting happen once again in this country. A mass shooting at that. And when I heard about the shooting, was debating about not doing a show tonight. Didn't feel appropriate. But I do have a platform. Not a very big platform. I get it. I don't have a huge following. I don't have a huge platform. I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I love talking about sports and it gives me a platform to talk about sports. And the majority of people who I interact with enjoy it. So I could have easily said, nope, not doing the show tonight. I'll wait for, tomorrow, let the dust settle a little bit, wait till Friday or Saturday, let the dust from the Chiefs Super Bowl parade end a little bit. But again, I have a platform, not big platform, but I do. And I don't really even know what I want to say about it, except that I'm tired. I'm very tired of it seeming like we're in this never ending cycle of the event happens, mass shooting, lots of people injured, bunch of people dead, whatever, mass shooting happens. Immediately after, we have one side of the aisle saying thoughts and prayers and don't politicize the shooting, thoughts and prayers, and then the Second Amendment. You can't touch any of my weapons or any of my guns because the Second Amendment allows me to have them. And then you have the left, the other side. Something needs to be done. We need change. We need something to happen to prevent these incidents, these shootings, these murders from happening again. Few days passes by after both sides are going back and forth on how you can't politicize it and everything. Nothing gets done, nothing changes. And then we have the next one, and it happens all over again. Then we have the next one, it happens all over again. Today is also the anniversary, and I hate using this word for that because anniversary is supposed to be something enjoyable, but it's not. Today's also the anniversary of the Parkland school shooting. And we have the same discourse, the same back and forth, the same don't politicize it, and it's not the guns doing it, and the something needs to happen, and we need to make changes, and then it just stops. Nobody talks about it anymore again until the next one. It happened in Sandy Hook. Elementary school kids shot and killed. And we have the same conversations and then nothing. It happened in Texas. Again, kids, kids, victims of these shootings and these murders. And we have the same discourse. And I can't be the only one tired. I can't be the only one tired of this cycle of just bickering back and forth with one another for a few days and then nothing changing. I can't be the only one tired with that. I wish I had an answer on what to do to help prevent these shootings from happening. I wish I had an easy solution to it. I don't. I'm not a lawmaker in Washington. I'm not a lawmaker in Madison. I'm not a lawmaker in whatever your state capital is in your state. I'm not a mayor. I'm not a governor. Those are the ones that are supposed to be responsible for the laws to try to help keep us safe. But it seems that nobody in Washington, in Madison, insert your state capital, actually truly want to make things safe for us. And I was having a conversation with somebody I work with today about the whole border issues and how both sides are wanting to make a campaign talking point. Part of me is wondering if that is what is being done in this situation. Is that there are people who represent us who want to keep, quote unquote, nothing being done because it gives them something to debate every 4 or 8 years. And if that's the case, it's sad. And that's why we really need to do our homework on those representing our city councils, those representing us on our county boards, those representing us in our state assemblies, our state senates, our U.S. House of Representatives, our U.S. Senate, the White House. We have to do a better job of really researching and understanding who and what we are voting for. We need people in there that truly want to try to make a difference and a change in this world, in this country. And I'm tired of all of them. You know, we have an election coming up in November, and the only election that ever gets any attention is the White House. It starts locally. It starts in your mayor's office, your city councilor's office, your county board offices, your state assemblies, your state senate. That's where it all starts, truly. And we have to fix those. Then fix the U.S. House of Representatives. Then fix the U.S. Senate, and fix the White House. We gotta start at the local level when we have local elections taking place and only 30 people vote. Those are the elections we need to have huge voter turnout for too, because that's where laws and policy and everything starts. When the school board is being voted on, we need more than just 10% of the people in those wards coming out to vote. That's where the ones we need to really show up for and make our voice heard. Because those are the ones that, like I said, they form the policy. But it's sad and depressing for the fact that it seems like it used to be every couple years. Now, then it's every few months. And now it seems to be every other month we are hearing about the most recent mass shooting. And I want to comment on one of the sports media people in Wisconsin, and I know people always say stick to sports, and that's what I like talking about. But Bart Winkler here on CBS Sports Radio, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern time, and he had put out a a thread, as we call it on X, and I agree with it. Here's what he had to say. It's the same discourse and the same conversation. It's the same fighting and the same talking points. The victims become statistics, but they are real people with real families experiencing real loss and real pain. Is all we can do just hope to never lose the bad luck lottery? Question mark. People don't even show compassion anymore. It's straight to the fighting. People never show shock anymore. It's just become a part of life. We have become numb to it and have accepted this as a reality, and it's just very heartbreaking. I don't want to tweet about this because there is nothing that I can say that will change anything. I've learned that. Maybe I thought I could remind people that while they're bickering in their online world, there are once again families torn apart forever in the real one. And it's sad that that's what's kind of showing up, because anytime we have this happen, it turns straight to bickering and arguing and fighting and arguing online and Facebook and X and Instagram, whatever. It just turns into instantly about fighting with one another. We need to go back to showing compassion for other people. It's sad that we've become numb. We've become numb to this event that seems to be happening way too often. And it's not just the mass shootings. There were shootings in Racine all over town last night because people are being careless and reckless with guns. Leave the guns at home. Leave them at home. I get the criminals, the bad guys are going to always find a way to get the guns and blah blah blah. I hear. I'm tired of that argument from the right. Let's just start treating people better. Is that really that hard to do? Start showing compassion. Start showing empathy. Can't we at least give the victims, the people who were wounded, the person who was killed, and some of the people wounded were children. Children who show up to celebrate their team win a championship. That's what that was supposed to be tonight. It was today. It was supposed to be a celebration of the Kansas City Chiefs winning a Super Bowl. Their third Super Bowl in 5 years? That's what today was supposed to be about. But instead it turned into a tragedy where somebody lost their life and thousands of people's lives are changed forever because the people that were there, the people that were at that party, that parade, that rally, they're not going to be traumatized with what they witnessed, what they experienced, what they heard now for a very long time. And now we have even more people traumatized. Let's figure out solutions instead of just bickering and arguing with one another all the time. Let's figure out solutions to this. Could it be stricter background checks and gun laws and punishments for those that do reckless harm with these weapons, or people that shouldn't have them to begin with? Should it be stiffer penalties? Maybe we can do that. Could it be better mental health care in this country to help people not make that decision that now I want to show up at this event and cause mass harm to other people because I'm suffering? Maybe that's a piece of it. Either way, there's not a simple solution, there's not an easy answer, and there's not an answer that's going to please everybody. It's going to have to be a multi-step approach. Require gun owners to have insurance. Make sure all bullets are registered. I don't know. If I had those answers, if I knew what to do, if I knew what to say, I would be in Washington, D.C. right now helping legislate this issue. But I'm not. But we need to hold our leaders accountable instead of bickering and fighting all the time amongst ourselves and letting the leaders, the people in Madison, the people in Sacramento, the people in wherever your state capital is, the people in Washington, D.C., we're letting them not have to act on anything because we're too busy fighting amongst ourselves. And that's why nothing's getting done. That's why things are not getting done because we're too busy fighting amongst ourselves and not holding Tammy Baldwin and Ron Johnson and Brian Steele and Governor Evers and former President Trump and current President Biden. We're not holding them accountable and pushing them to do things. And the thing is, if they're not doing something that's going to help benefit us, it's time for somebody new to come in. And I just named my state senators and my representative in DC. I'm just naming who they are. I wonder how many people can actually name who their state representative is in Washington and who their state senators are. I wonder how many people can actually do that. And I named my governor. Get active in your state politics. Get active in your city politics. Get active in your federal politics. Just get active and make your voice heard and start demanding that the people we send to these places I said actually do something instead of just give us empty rhetoric all the time. It's time for action. It's time for them to do something. And again, I was debating about not doing the show today. I don't know if it's part of it for, respect for the victims, or I just didn't feel like it because this incident happened. But, my buddy Scott messaged me, and I haven't been on Facebook at all today. Believe it or not. I've not been on Facebook at all today. So I don't really have anything to post. But he had commented, trying to call me out. But again, I haven't been on Facebook at all today. And I wasn't going to go on, but when he, put that out there to me, he had put that out there to me. It's, just because I don't run to Facebook and post something doesn't mean I don't have thoughts on the matter, or I don't run to X. And again, I just haven't been on Facebook today. But I have a platform. Scott, you're right. I do have a platform. And this is a sports talk platform, but it's still a platform that I have. As small as it is, it's still a platform that I have to try to make my voice heard. And Don Wadowitz, who is my broadcast partner of the Racine Raiders, he ends his Raider broadcast the same way. Be good to everybody. Yeah. Let's be kind to everybody. Let's be good to everybody. Give some, it doesn't have to be a literal hug, but give somebody a hug. Tell them it's okay. Truly ask somebody, what can I do to help you today? Can I be of any assistance? If you see somebody struggling, and it just starts with just being a good human being, and we're not good human beings enough anymore. We have all this talk on X about alpha males and like that's not what alpha males do and all that. Well, showing emotions is okay. I was having a conversation with somebody today who I know who lost his brother, whose birthday is coming up, and I had to tell him, like, hey, it's okay if you need to cry. It's okay. But we've just become so numb to all of this in society. So I guess that's my thoughts on the whole situation in Kansas City, and I probably rambled more than most of you wanted me to. But I guess if there's anything you get out of anything I just said for the last 20 minutes is be good to each other. Treat each other with kindness. Show empathy to others. And if you see somebody struggling, be a decent human being and say, "Hey, is there something I can do for you?" That's what I want you all to take out of this. And let's start getting people representing us who truly represent us and not just speak with empty rhetorics. That's what we can do. So, again, this is Talking Sports with Evan, and I get it, stick to sports, but when the tragedy, the harm passes over into sports, guess what? It needs to be talked about. You can find me on X, Evan Witt Sports. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube, Talking Sports with Evan. Give me a follow on any of them. The Talking Sports with Evan podcast is going to be released probably first thing tomorrow morning. I typically release it in the mornings. The live streams on my X, my YouTube, and my Facebook, and then the podcast version will get released tomorrow. Anywhere you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, you name it, you can find it. Would love to get your feedback on anything Packers, Badgers, Bucks, Brewers, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, whatever. Would love to get your reactions and your feedback. And I think I'm just going to end it there. I know I mentioned in the description that going to talk Super Bowl and how close the Packers are to making the Super Bowl and what's the expectations next year and stuff like that. I know that's what I said in my description, what I was going to say. But after getting off my chest what I wanted to get off my chest for this 23 minutes now, I think it's appropriate to kind of end it there. I don't think it's going to be respectful to any of the victims, the one that lost their life, the many others who were injured, including a number of children. I don't think it's going to be very respectful to them to go into my usual spiel and rambling on about whatever thing that isn't important right now. So, with that said, thank you for tuning in. Please treat each other better. Treat your fellow human better. And let's truly be the change we want to see. I'm going to borrow something from Gandhi there. Let's be the change we want to see. If you want something changed, demonstrate what you want, demonstrate it. Be the change you want to see in the world is what I'll leave this with. Have a good night, everybody.